It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I had the privilege to interview the Kansas City Royals coordinator, Kristen Nett. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited.
Thank you. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to work in professional sports?
Yeah, my journey's kind of a weird one. Definitely didn't think I would be working in sports, but I love sports. Grew up in Wisconsin, so a big Badger, Packer, Chicago Cubs fan. And when I got to college, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I changed my major probably 4 or 5 times before I finally settled on social work, specifically human services. So it's kind of like social work. And then I realized that there is a department called community relations in sports. Every sports team has a community relations department. And I got my first internship in community relations with a minor league baseball team after college. So that's kind of what kickstarted my dream of working in sports. And then obviously I worked for Nebraska Athletics as well. So I got a little taste of collegiate sports there.
What was it like going to Nebraska and getting to work on the collegiate side?
It was incredible. Obviously, Nebraska's in the Big Ten. So just a Power Five, being able to go to a Power Five conference and work in their sports department was really awesome. I worked for, football, basketball, volleyball, and then I specifically worked with men's gymnastics, and that was amazing. Nebraska men's gymnastics is an incredible program, and I was their sports information director. So I handled all of the media requests, worked with the media, wrote all their game notes, the media guide, and I actually got to travel with the team. So that job was when I knew I kind of wanted to work in sports. I just didn't know what aspect until I found out about community relations.
What was that like, obviously becoming the SID for the men's gymnastics program?
It was a really great thing for me. So obviously, I was in charge of everything media wise. I got to travel with the team, go to the Big Ten championships, go to NCAA championships. It was a really great experience for me to be able to travel and interact with the team on that level. And I can't say enough good things about Nebraska men's gymnastics. I loved their coaching staff and all the players, and I had a really good experience there.
Of course, what were some of the things that you learned as the sports information director during your time at Nebraska?
Yeah, so I did learn that maybe the media side wasn't really for me. It was pretty fast paced and a lot of writing, a lot of transcribing quotes and pitching stories, trying to get a different angle on things. So I definitely learned a lot and gained a lot of good experience. But I was really glad that I got the experience because I thought, maybe this isn't exactly my passion, what I really want to get into. But I did learn a lot and just having to work with different media types, news channels, radio channels, social media, that was huge as well. So again, a lot of really good experience.
Of course, leaving College of Nebraska, what was it like getting your internship with Western Virginia Power?
Yeah, so the West Virginia Power at the time, they were affiliated with the Mariners. I just, again, really wanted to work in sports. So I was applying to a bunch of different internships. And when I got offered the job with the Power, I was super excited. I made it 3 weeks before COVID happened. This was 2020, and they canceled the minor league baseball season. So definitely changed my career path, everything like that. But the 3 weeks I worked for the Power in community relations, just working kind of with charities and nonprofits, I knew this is my passion. This is what I want to do. So it only took 3 weeks to learn. That's what I wanted to do.
Of course, during those 3 weeks, what were some of your roles and what was it like working on the minor league team?
Sure. So definitely very exciting. Again, 3 weeks wasn't a ton of time, but I worked closely with a program where we'd invite nonprofits of the game out to our games to try to, give them visibility and make them more known to our fans and in our community. So it was amazing to be able to coordinate that and get to talk to some of those nonprofits. But again, I was hired in February and COVID happened, as everyone knows, early March. So again, kind of had to shift my career path and get out of sports because no one was hiring because no one knew if we were going to play games and everything like that. But luckily, I was able to find my way back into sports when I worked with the Vibes out in Colorado Springs.
Of course, how is that like leaving sports and starting your own podcast, Nothing But Net?
Yeah, so actually, my sister and I kind of thought about the idea. She really pushed me to do it just so I could stay relevant and keep my brand up while, I wasn't working in sports because I knew I eventually wanted to get back in sports. But while I was doing the job I was doing during COVID, I wanted to stay relevant and be able to have something on my resume or my LinkedIn profile that showed, I was still interested in sports and actively pursuing. So Nothing But Net lasted about a year. It was very hard to keep up with. So props to you for all the hard work you do on your podcast and your talk show. Sorry, your talk show. But that was a really good experience, as you know, interviewing people, getting to talk to different coaches, and I talked to a lot of women in sports specifically. So a really great experience for me.
Of course, how is it like obviously taking the Rocky Mount job and getting to become the intern for Rocky Mount?
So a funny story is I actually applied with a totally different position with them. It was a sales internship position because I just really wanted to get back in sports no matter what aspect. And I did the interview, and he actually was like, I really enjoyed talking to you. I don't think you'd be a good fit for this job, but I'm going to pass you over to our promotions internship, which the hiring manager I think you'd be a better fit for this. So literally once I got off the call with him, I was a little discouraged, but then I got the call right away from the other hiring manager and was eventually hired to be the promotions intern. But as you know, in minor league baseball, you do a ton of different things. So I was doing promotions, social media, and then I really took over that community relations aspect of it because that's what I wanted to gain the most.
Of course, how is that like transferring over from obviously running social media and being a coordinator and stuff to running promotions?
Yeah, promotions are actually really fun. I really enjoyed that. A lot of it had to do with being on field and being in front of the fans and getting fans engaged, whether we were doing an in between inning game or an activation from a sponsor or just t shirt tossing. I loved being in front of people and interacting with fans and making their game day experience better because you never know who's coming to the stadium for the first time and this is their first experience. This might be my 60th game. I'm getting tired, but it could be their first experience. So you have to keep up that energy, and I really loved promotions and just being in front of people.
How is it like obviously traveling to Fayetteville Woodpeckers in Fayetteville, North Carolina to become the community relations manager?
Yeah, so there was no full-time position available for me with the Vibes, unfortunately. So I had to apply elsewhere. Applied with the Fayetteville Woodpeckers, who are the low A affiliate of the Houston Astros, and got that job, which was really exciting. So I was the community and media relations manager with them. Um, I do not have enough good things to say about Fayetteville, the Fayetteville community. I really grew in my role there and in my passion for community relations and helping nonprofits and other community relations. So, yeah, not enough good things to say about Fayetteville.
Of course, during your time at Fayetteville, what were some of the things that you took from your time at college as a SID to help you as a media relations?
Yeah, so media, working with the Woodpeckers, I would send out press releases to our media contacts. So working as an SID in college really helped me with my writing skills. Being able to transfer that into my job with the Woodpeckers was great. I didn't do too much on the media side because we did have a media relations guy who handled like game days and player requests, everything on that side. And then I handled media requests from the community side. So anything we were doing with our foundation or any charitable givebacks, I would write about that and then send it out to the media.
What was a day in the life on the minor league side for Fayetteville?
Yeah, so a day in the life for a community relations manager. I got to know the community. I got to know the nonprofits. I would go out to community events. I'd be thinking of ideas to give back. So we had about $75,000 in our foundation that we were working with. So it was my job to decide how to give that back to the community. And the Fayetteville Woodpeckers, since we're under the Astros, we follow a lot of what they do. And what's really important to them is giving back to military initiatives and, youth sports initiatives. So that's what I was really looking for when we donate money back into the community. And just one quick fun note, obviously the Astros did really well last year. They're doing really well this year. But last year when they made the World Series, because we were part of their system, the minor league team, we got to go to the World Series game. We got to get a championship ring when they won the ALCS. So it was really fun working for a minor league team.
Of course, what was that like getting that call up to the major league level in the MLB to work with the Kansas City Royals?
Sure. So I've known for a while, I always want to, progress my career and advance. And my goal is to work in the MLB or NFL, NHL. That was always my goal. So I went to school in Nebraska, which is about 3 hours from Kansas City. So when I saw a job pop up with the Royals, I definitely applied. And again, kind of like with the vibes, I had applied for a corporate partnership position, which is kind of managing sponsorships and trying to get sponsors. And the HR manager reached out to me and said, "Hey, we have a Royals charity position opening, and we think you'd be a really good fit for this." So again, they directed me kind of to that other path, which I'm very thankful for because I already love my job a weekend. So, it's just really cool being at the major league level and going to Kauffman Stadium every day, um, seeing, the field and getting to work on that level. I'm very, very excited and I feel really honored to be in this position.
Of course, how is it like when you did get that call up to obviously work with the Kansas City Royals?
It was really good. Yeah, a lot of interviews. I had about 3 rounds of interviews, and in minor league baseball, I was the only person in the community relations department. Now I'm with a team of 7 people. And then we have, probably a team total of 14. So I had to interview with multiple different people. That is a big difference between working in minor league baseball now to major league baseball, just working with a bigger department. But I love my team, and the Royals have done a ton of great things with Royals charities. So I'm very excited.
Of course, what are some of your roles with the Royals charities?
Yeah. So again, most sports focus on youth baseball, military initiatives, children, education initiatives, all of that. So Royals Charities really focuses on those 4 pillars: youth baseball and softball, military, children, and then education. So right now I'm kind of shadowing those who are in charge of specific pillars like education and children's initiatives. And we're going through our grant process right now. So Royals Charity raised about $3 million this year from our 50-50 raffle and other fundraisers. So now we're just kind of going through grant applications. So nonprofits who have requested money from us, and we're seeing who we're going to donate that money to.
Of course, what are some of the charities that you work with the Royals Charities Corporation?
Yeah, so again, it's a week. I'm a week in today, but we work closely with um, children initiatives, like the Boys and Girls Club, any places that kind of support, children who are in need, lower income children. We work with the Royals Urban Youth Academy, which focuses on baseball and softball for underprivileged children and maybe children who wouldn't be able to participate in sports without that Urban Youth Academy. So really looking forward to learning about the nonprofits here and getting to know what this community needs.
Of course, how's it like obviously getting to work with those nonprofits? For example, let's say Dream on Three that helps with sports dreams for little kids to come true. What is that like working with them?
Yeah, it's really amazing. We work pretty closely here in the Kansas City area with a nonprofit that gives dreams back to children, like you just said. Um, it's just very exciting because we have the opportunity to give back so much, just being a major league team and being part of a big charity. We have the platform to do so much, and I'm really excited to see what we can do for 2023.
Of course, what does a typical game day look like for you?
So I'm really excited because, again, I did like the promotions aspect of being on the field, being in front of people. So a lot of things that I'll be doing during the game is pre-game stuff, such as if we have like a check presentation or if we're inviting like the Boys and Girls Club out for a game, and we honor them on the field. I get to do a lot of pre-game and in-game activations. So really looking forward to that. But we do work from 9 to 5 p.m. on game days if it's Monday through Friday, and then we will obviously work the game. So definitely a lot of hours when you're working in baseball, but definitely worth it.
Of course, what are some of your favorite memories so far while working with the Kansas City Royals?
So I've just really enjoyed so far getting to know my team. They're incredible. They've done some really great things this past year that I'm really excited to get into. I will say a really favorite memory of mine from the Woodpeckers, since that's where I spent a year where I had my most time, was um, we had just an event where we invited people out who hadn't been to the stadium before, and one little kid, he had lived in Fayetteville his whole life, and he walked into the stadium and his eyes just lit up and he's like, wow, this is amazing. And I looked at him and I was like, oh, have you never been here before? And he's like, no, I haven't, but this is awesome. This is the best day of my life. So just to be able to see that and see how much joy sports, especially baseball, can bring is definitely my favorite memory. And there's tons to go off of that.
Oh, that's so cool. What are some of your future plans in
Mhm.
obviously working with the Kansas City Royals with the Royals coordinator?
Yeah. So as the coordinator of Royals Charities, I'm really excited. I'd love to, potentially think of more fundraising ideas, how we can bring more funds in to distribute back to the community. I did become really passionate about military initiatives because we live so close to Fort Bragg when I was in Fayetteville. So military initiatives are really close to me. I'd love to expand our initiatives and our and who we work with military wise. Here in Kansas City, we're pretty close to Fort Leavenworth in Kansas, so I'd love to increase our partnerships there. And I'm just really looking forward to learning, honestly. I have tons to learn. Again, I can't say enough about my team right now. They are great and super smart and have a lot of experience. So I'm excited to just take some time to learn from them and what worked well for them in the past.
What advice would you give people that are looking to work in professional sports?
Yeah, so my biggest thing is reach out to people, whether it's on LinkedIn or, their email address. Get an interview with them and just see what they liked, what worked well for them. And then maybe if they have a position open, they'll think of you. It's really all about connections working in sports. Sometimes you do have to start on the lowest level possible where you're maybe interning for somewhere like your college team. You might not be getting paid, unfortunately, but one day you will get up there, if you so wish and want to put in the work. But I would encourage anyone who's watching this to reach out to me. if you are interested in sports. And again, kind of like what I told you, I applied for some things and then was redirected to something different. So just don't give up on any opportunity. Any opportunity can turn into something great.
What advice would you give those people that are looking to make that jump from working in minor league to whether it's the MLB or a professional sports league?
Yeah, so it's obviously very different. Minor league baseball or minor league baseball, you're working really hard to get people in seats. And it's more about the experience and all of that. Major league, you don't have to work as hard to get people in seats. But you do still have to provide a great experience. Your staff's obviously going to be bigger. So you just have to remember that as well. But I would just say again, LinkedIn is a great tool. Connect to as many people as in the MLB or NFL or NHL as you can. And always, continue to apply and put yourself out there. But don't be afraid to try new things. Like I said, I applied for a sales position and they pushed me somewhere else where I got another job in the same organization. So don't be afraid to try everything out.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media?
Yeah, so my LinkedIn is Kristen, Kristen, Nett, N as in Nancy, ETT. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. That's pretty much what I have. But yeah, if anyone, please shoot me a message and connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd love to, help because I'm in the position I'm in because someone helped me. So I want to help people who were in my position get to where they want to be and the perfect fit for them.
Thank you again, Kristen Nett, for your interview and best of luck in your future with the Kansas City Royals as the Royals coordinator.
Yeah, thank you, Brandon. Thanks for having me.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Kristen Nett, for your interview and best of luck in your future.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.